Thanks very much for being with us tonight. I hope you have a great Monday. CHEK News at 6 with Joe Perkins starts now.
We need to understand that we're in a very risky time. 500 people a day being affected is too high. It's at a point where it takes very little for it to skyrocket.
She's made the ask before, but says this time it is more critical than ever that British Columbians stay home and follow the restrictions. With no new doses of the vaccine arriving over the next 2 weeks, Dr. Henry says this will be one of the most challenging stretches of this pandemic. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. It was 1 year ago today Canada confirmed its first case of COVID-19. Since then, BC has been living under a series of restrictions that are not going away. In fact, today, Dr. Bonnie Henry doubled down, saying now it is more critical than ever that people follow the rules. Tess Van Straten begins our coverage.
BC's efforts to vaccinate those most at risk of dying from COVID-19 have been dealt a serious blow.
This next 2 weeks, we're going to have very little vaccine.
Due to more holdups with the Pfizer vaccine and no new Moderna doses this week, health officials are making changes to phase 1 of the rollout.
Because of this extremely limited supply over the next 2 weeks, we have made the decision that we will be delaying second doses up until day 42 for these short period of time. This means we can use what little supply we have right now to finish our long-term care home immunizations and to address the outbreaks that are happening.
Dr. Henry says delaying the second dose is about giving more people some protection at this dangerous time as fast-moving variants continue to spread.
It's a race between the virus and the vaccine. The virus can cause enough havoc itself without having these mutations.
News of the shortage comes on the same day the Ministry of Health made public an independent report into its handling of the pandemic in long-term care, more than 3 months after it was completed.
The report should have been released earlier. It was available at the end of October. It was only brought to my attention 10 days ago, I think, I would say this in context. It should have been released earlier.
The Ernst & Young report made 19 recommendations on how to improve, from more detailed policies and better communication to a centralized supply chain for PPE, which is now in place. It also found critical decisions the province made early on in the pandemic, like visitor restrictions and only allowing staff to work at one site, significantly reduced the spread and prevented the catastrophic situations Ontario and Quebec faced.
In the past 72 hours, there have been 1,344 new cases in BC. That includes 73 new cases reported by Island Health. 26 more people have died from this virus. Here on the island, there are 211 active cases right now, 18 in the north, 25 here in the south, and 168 active cases on central Vancouver Island. And before Dr.